They do make me smile, those cartoons. Anyway, I'm going to tell you another story this week, and it's about a little boy called Josh. Yeah. Now, it was a night just like most nights, except for some reason the dark was darker than dark. It was a colour of black ink in a black bottle deep within a cave with no torch. It was dark. But this just happened to be the night that little Josh decided he was going to venture up into the attic of the big old house. It all seemed safe while he was stood on the landing. But as he started up the stairways, he couldn't help thinking how many steps creaked. What had caused them to creak? His mind could only guess at what was in the attic. Slowly, he took one step at a time, freezing every time he heard a creak, wondering what it was, whether it was coming from up above in the attic or down below at his feet. Eventually, he reached the doorway into the attic. Nervously, he reached out to the handle, turned the handle. The door seemed to swing open by itself, revealing a dark, very dark, dusty room. Above his head, he could see the underside of the roof. The timbers looked like the ribcage of some long-forgotten animal. As he stood in the doorway, that was when he saw it. He could clearly see two eyes watching him intently from the deepest shadows. The eyes were almost a metre apart, giving some idea of how big this thing was. Josh yelled with fear as the air rushed from his lungs. He quickly turned, not wanting to see what was going to come from the shadows, slammed the door shut, and went with a mixture of falling and tumbling down the stairs, leaving whatever it was slowly growling to itself in the dark. For the next 2 days, the people in the village lived in terror. There was constant growls from the attic and something beating on the attic door. News of the creature's cruel nature spread across the land, but no one was brave enough to go up to that attic and confront the beast. Before long, a fisherman passed by. Some days earlier, his whaling ship had sunk, and now he seemed like a formidable old sea dog. He looked a really hard character, the sort of person who wouldn't be afraid of anything. Some men in the village asked him to help them to confront this beast in the attic. The fisherman didn't hesitate. No problem. In return for a little money, he would sort the creature out. However, when he approached the attic and heard the growling from the other side, his expression changed. He went downstairs and demanded more money if he was going to sort this creature out. He also asked for a few tools and a big net and a cart. If he was going to kill this beast, he wanted to take it home as a trophy. Sorry, I've just got my hot Vimto. All the village folk gathered round the entrance to the house and watched as the fisherman went up the stairs, up the attic stairs, and opened the door and went inside. He shut the door behind him. All they could hear were deep, shuddering growls. After the fisherman had been inside for a short while, the noises stopped. The crowd wondered what was happening, but the fisherman never came out. In fact, the fisherman was never seen again in the village, nor was there any sound coming from the beast in the attic. And from that day to this, no one has ever dared to go up to the attic again. Do you want to know what happened? Well, when the fisherman opened the door, he saw the eye of Olaf his enormous, fierce-looking helmsman. You know, the guy who drives the boat that he thought had been drowned when the boat sank. Olaf had lost an eye in an accident years before, so wore an eye patch. His one eye was reflected in a mirror, giving the impression that whatever was there had a huge, monstrous head. Both men continued talking loudly in their own language, and as Olaf told his friend how he'd sneaked into the attic for shelter when the boat sank. And the fisherman told Olaf how the villagers had given lots and lots of money to try and sort this creature out. He said he had enough money to return to their home country and buy another ship and carry on fishing. Together, they managed to climb out of the skylight and escape the attic. They slid down the roof at the back of the house to the cart that was waiting and disappeared forever. And so it was that fear and fear alone impoverished that whole village and enabled the fishermen to recover their livelihood. You know, when Jesus told Peter to get out of the boat and walk to him, I'm pretty sure Peter would have been nervous, scared, a bit apprehensive even about whether he could do it. But he decided to try it anyway. In the story, the villagers were faced with a similar choice: to face their fears or let their fears stop them. So many times we let our fears of failure stop us trying things. At times, I think we need to try and be a bit more like Peter in that situation. You know, choose to face our fears. Don't let our fears control us.